All right, guys. So when we left off with this last time, this is the right wall, and we had put our window in there, our 40 inch wide by 48-inch tall window, and now we're ready to put the door in. Now I've done a little bit of work here, and you don't have to do this. I've done this where I'm taking a look at the floor plan. Whoops, zoom out a little bit, and I've actually taken a picture of what the floor plan was supposed to look like, and then started, whoops, that's not the right one, started laying out where the partition walls are going to go inside, and I have figured out that where we need to go is the eighth stud in on the pattern is where this 36-inch door coming in from the garage is going to go. 36 inches is a standard going from the house into the garage. Side note, doors that go from one major section to the other, like from the house into the garage, also have to have self-closing hinges. In case of a fire, it wants to separate out those two areas. So we need to make that door. So in our right wall, the door is going to start at 8 in from, we're going to consider this 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That stud is going to remain as the king stud for one side of the door, but then these other two need to get suppressed. So let's go to our linear pattern over here that made all of those, expand it. And this time we're going to kind of go up from the bottom. So if you use this bar here and scroll down, if we look at that first one, there's the first one because we're not including the end. And then we're going to go up one. Actually, the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's going to stay. So if you have the same as what I do, it's 15 and 16 are going to get suppressed. So we're going to click those two, right click, suppress them. Okay. And let's make sure we did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th one stays, and it's not including that first one. So you could look at it as the 9th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But count and make sure you did it right. All right, now we need to make a frame for the door. Now this is going to be a little different than the window. So we're going to go into our window frame. It doesn't matter which one because we're going to duplicate it. Okay, we're going to use that as our door frame this time. But this time we're going to right click, duplicate. And now notice I have a copy here, window frame copy 41. I'm going to right click and rename this as 36 door frame. Okay. Now, we're going to have to do kind of what we did before. We're going to create a new header, although we already have a header ready to go for this. So this time, all I really need to do is delete the sill and delete the header. And now we can put in insert. We're going to go into headers, and one of them was already a header for a 36-inch door. We're going to throw that in here. Okay, click. Now, if you want to flip it around, you can, but I think you guys know what you're doing now with the fasten mate. We're going to fasten this lower corner down here. Got to get it to face the right way. Come on, face the right way. There we go. With this corner over here, that one. For whatever reason, it needs to be flipped. Okay, so rotated. It was in the right spot. Just needs to be rotated. Good. And one more to connect the jack stud on the other side. So we're going to go to fastened, that corner, and that corner. Again, make sure that the jack stud is flush with the end of the header. Good. We've got this ready to go, and we're ready to put that one in. So let's go to back to our right wall. We're going to insert an assembly, the 36 door frame, click, bring it in, click. Let's do what we've done before where we say okay, but before we move forward, just to make sure, we're going to group together this assembly, the 36 door frame we just brought in, click, and check makes it good. Now I want to make sure that my my side that only has the jack stud and doesn't have the king stud on it is going to go, this is going to serve as the king stud. So I'm going to kind of flip it around a little bit. Remember, we can take this part and flip it up, and then we can rotate it around this way, because remember, we've got to make sure we put it in the right way, and that this side that only has the jack stud is going to go up against here. I know it's kind of crookedy looking for now, but it's going to all straighten out. All right, so we're going to fasten the bottom corner down there, click with this point down here, click. And why isn't it happening? Let me try that again. Click, there we go. And yahoo, we are looking good. Now we're ready to put this wall up. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Now that we've got our right wall, let's come to our house. All right, now I'm going to stop here and do something. I turned off the land. I'm going to let you do this too. So let's stop for a second before we put this on there, because to me the land is annoying. So I'm going to get it out of the way. So here's what I would like you to do is go back to your very original part studio that had the that had all this stuff in it. I don't think we ever renamed it. So the very original one, before we even put it in assembly, it's Part Studio, and it probably says Part Studio 1 if you never renamed it. We're going to come up here and turn off the land. Go ahead and sketch on this very front surface of the foundation wall. We're going to sketch on that surface. Make sure that you're clicking on that surface, and we'll bring you normal to it. Now, it is important, because I discovered this by mistake, that it might, if you get up into this line and down here, you might jack things up. So when you click text box, make sure that you are not up here above or connected to the top of the wall or the bottom of the wall. Be in the middle. Now, depending on how long your name is, so I'm not clicking on that line, okay? I'm clicking below it. Click for one corner, and then come down. Don't come all the way to the bottom. Make sure it's kind of floating in there, and click on the other side. Now, if my name was longer, I might have to start over on the other side or a little further left. But okay, and we're going to say okay for the sketch. Okay, and now click OK for that sketch. Turn it a little bit, and now we will extrude that sketch. Now, to make sure that it gets all these little holes and things, make sure that you're clicking in between lines that make up the text. Okay, and come out. Now, I hope that's not a problem. This could cause a problem with that G being down there. We'll find out. Now, I do want to add it. Make sure it's merging with the foundation. Good. And finally, go to the last extrusion that you just made. Make sure this little bar is down the bottom. And edit appearance to the feature and make it the color that will show up. All right. Now, I know that's going down there a little bit. That way we can have it so I can see that it's you. if you turn the land off. Now, when we go to your assembly that you were working on, it should update that with that. Now, if something's wrong, I had some of these panels messing up, then go back to your your Part Studio 1 or whatever that was that we were working in, undo it and try again. Make sure that this that your text is in the middle of the wall and not again on the outsides. All right, so now we don't have to have the land on if it bothers you. I don't really care. If you want to keep it on that way, fine. I just think it's too much to look at. So here we go.
And like magic, I'm in a whole new location. That's because I stopped the video and I'm remaking it. So anyway, we're ready to put in that right wall next. So a little side note, some people were having issues where, at least a couple people, where these had a gap here. And if that happened to you, 2 or 3 people had that happen, it's because you put your little connector piece in the wrong place. You put it on the bottom instead of the top. And so it made it 1.5 inches too short. And then when you put these in, it made it a little gap. Unfortunately, even if you go back and fix the frame, it won't update that subassembly in your in your model. So you're going to end up with a gap. So before you do the next walls, we're going to make sure that those are correct. If you have a little gap in there for now, between the sill and the cripples, then just leave it there. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to mark you down or anything for now. Okay. So we're ready to put the right wall in. So we're going to insert, find that right wall. Oops, it's an assembly. So I got to click assembly and there's my right wall. Bring it in. For whatever reason, mine's upside down, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to click it in here. Now, before I do anything else, before I move it around, I'm going to say, okay, check mark. I'm going to find that right wall in here. And I should have done that. Oh, I did do that with the left wall. But I'm going to come up here to group, and I'm then going to click on right wall and group that together so it doesn't move on me when I move things around. That's important. If you don't do that, things are going to get all messed up. Now, for mine, it's like upside down. It's kind of weird. So I'm just going to click on it and flip it around so that it is right side up-ish. All right. And then we're just making 2 connectors, making sure you're paying attention to what corners you're choosing, right? You should be getting better at this. At some point, I'm going to stop explaining it to you. So I'm going to create my fasten mate. I'm going to choose the bottom corner. Now it looks like I think I want that facing outwards. Pay attention to which way the little blue line faces. Then I'm going to zoom way back into here and make sure that my thing faces the same way. Zoom out before I hit check mark. And cool, we've got a right wall on there. And that is all. This was a short one today to kind of reward the people that have been keeping up and give people that haven't been the opportunity to catch up. All right, next time we will work on the front and back walls, and we'll see you then.